The alarm screamed through Pelican Bay like a wounded animal. Red lights flashed over the cold concrete walls as guards shouted orders down the tiers. Inmates ducked, screamed, and pressed against their cell doors as tear gas rolled through the corridor. Inside the chaos, two prisoners, Marcus Ghost Ramirez and Darnell Red Jones, were locked in a deadly stare through the thick glass of the security housing unit known as the SHU. Ghost's hands trembled as he gripped a sharpened piece of metal hidden under his mattress just moments before the riot began. Red, a tall man with tattoos crawling up his neck, smiled through the glass like he already knew something Ghost didn't. Then came the sound no one wanted to hear, the cell door click. Somehow, against all logic, Ghost's door slid open. For a second, he froze. Doors in the SHU never opened without permission. Never. But this one had. Guards shouted over the radio, "Unit C, lockdown, breach. Repeat, we have a breach." Ghost stepped into the corridor, eyes wide, the tear gas stinging his throat. Across from him, Red's cell door also creaked open. The two men stood in the flashing red light, inches away from freedom. Or death. "Looks like someone upstairs wants a show," Red said, grinning. Before Ghost could answer, a loud bang echoed through the hall. A guard tower window shattered. Sparks burst from the control panel that locked the SHU doors. In that same instant, every cell on the tier slid open. Dozens of inmates poured out, shouting, coughing, some fighting, some running. The whole unit turned into a storm of confusion and fear. Ghost looked at Red, then at the hallway leading toward the yard. "If we move now, we might make it out," Ghost said. Red grinned. "Ain't no might, brother. We're already ghosts." They started running, pushing through the chaos. Sirens wailed, boots thundered above. Just as they reached the end of the corridor, a blinding white light filled the space. A voice boomed through the intercom. "Stop right there, or you will be fired upon." Ghost froze. Red didn't. Red took one more step forward. Then a crack split the air. He dropped. Ghost's heart stopped cold. His eyes darted toward the towers, then toward the exit, where the steel door to the yard stood half open. He took one breath, one final look at Red's body, and ran straight into the light. Then everything went black. 3 days earlier, the prison yard looked calm, too calm for Pelican Bay. The ocean wind carried the faint sound of gulls, but inside the walls, tension hung thick as fall. Ghost sat alone at a corner table, sketching something on a scrap of paper, a crude drawing of a tunnel leading to the outside fence. He wasn't really planning to escape. No one escaped Pelican Bay. It was called Escape Impossible for a reason. But the drawing gave him hope, something to dream about in a place built to crush hope. Then Red sat down across from him, smiling like a man who already knew his thoughts. "You ever think about the old storm drain system?" he asked. Ghost frowned. "What about it?" Red leaned in. "I heard some of those tunnels under the old SHU still exist. They never filled them in. I got a guy in maintenance who says one connects to the outer yard." Ghost shook his head. "That's suicide." Red shrugged. "So is staying here." That night, in their separate cells, both men lay awake as the lights dimmed. Somewhere down the tier, an inmate screamed, followed by the sound of fists pounding on steel. Another gang dispute, probably between the norteños and sureños again. But Ghost wasn't thinking about gangs anymore. He was thinking about the tunnel. And about freedom. The next day, the prison went into partial lockdown. A fight had broken out on the yard, Red's doing. Ghost realized too late it was a distraction. Through the small slit of his door, he saw Red's crew passing small packages between cells. Something metallic glinted inside. Later that night, Red slipped him a folded piece of paper under the food tray slot. It read, "Friday, change everything. By Thursday evening, rumors spread that someone had hacked the control system. Guards whispered about a security glitch. Ghost felt his pulse race. Friday came. Dinner was served cold. The hallway lights flickered. Then the alarm went off. Ghost's cell door clicked. The plan had begun. But what Ghost didn't know was that someone else had tampered with the system too. Someone who wanted the escape to fail. Someone inside. And they were watching every move he made. When Ghost opened his eyes, everything was white and humming. He was lying on a hospital cot, wrists cuffed to the metal rail. The air smelled of bleach and iron. His head ached, and every breath burned his lungs. For a long moment, he thought he was dead. Then a voice said, "Welcome back to the land of the living, Ramirez." It was Officer Mitchell, a veteran guard with gray in his beard and eyes that never smiled. He stood at the foot of the bed holding a folder. Behind him, 2 other guards watched silently. Ghost tried to speak, but his throat was dry. "Red. Where's Red?" Mitchell flipped through the folder without looking up. "Jones? He didn't make it. You, on the other hand, are one lucky man." He snapped the folder shut. "Now you're going to tell me who helped you." Ghost frowned. "Helped me? I didn't." Mitchell slammed the folder onto the bed. "Don't lie to me, Ramirez. You think those doors open themselves. Someone inside triggered that lockdown breach. Someone who knew the system." Ghost looked down. His hands trembled. He remembered the paper Red had given him. The plan. The lights flickering. The way every cell opened, not just theirs. That wasn't Red's doing. That was something else. Someone else. Mitchell leaned closer. "You want to know the real reason Pelican Bay is called Escape Impossible? It's not the walls, it's the people. This place was built with more eyes and ears than you can imagine. Cameras, guards, and inmates who trade secrets for favors." He paused. "So even when you think you're free, you're not." He turned to leave, but Ghost spoke up. "There's someone in maintenance. Red said he had a guy." Mitchell stopped. "Yeah, we know about him. He's gone too. Missing." Ghost's stomach twisted. "Missing? What do you mean, missing?" Mitchell gave a small, bitter laugh. "Let's just say he's not coming back to work." The guard left, and T room went silent except for the hum of fluorescent lights. Ghost stared at the ceiling, his thoughts racing. Nothing about that night made sense. If Red was dead and the maintenance guy was gone, then who else could have wanted the breach to happen? That night, as Ghost drifted between sleep and waking, he heard a faint click, the sound of a door unlocking. He opened his eyes. The hospital lights were off. A dark figure stepped inside. "Don't move," a whisper said. Ghost froze. He couldn't see the face, only the glint of a small flashlight reflecting off a guard badge. "You weren't supposed to survive," the voice said. Ghost's pulse thundered in his ears. "Who are you?" The figure leaned closer, voice low and steady. "Someone making sure Pelican Bay stays what it was built to be, unbreakable." Before Ghost could react, the flashlight flicked off. Footsteps echoed down the hall. He was alone again, or so he thought. Because taped beneath his bed, where the guard had stood moments before, was a small piece of folded paper, just like the one Red had given him. He pulled it free with shaking hands. In the dim light from the hallway, he read the words, "Next time, we finish it." And below that, drawn in ink, was a small tunnel leading into darkness. Ghost's eyes widened. The story wasn't over. Not yet.